Guys, what is going on? Today is a big day for Nick Sanders Presents because today is the day when we're bringing forward a deep plant we have in the heart of Mormon country. We put him out there several years ago to gather intel, and now he's coming back to report. He's a stand-up comedian. He's a hilarious writer. He's a published novelist. He is Nicholas Stewart. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, and I'm happy to report that the Mormons are reproducing at a exponential rate, and we can't possibly outcompete them. So
The Mormons love to fuck. They love to
fuck. I'm going to recommend that we just join them.
I'm already working on it. Send fucking what's his name? Joseph Smith. Send Joseph Smith over here. I want to talk to him. So
yeah, that's that dude.
Why don't you give me like 30, 40-second origin story, who you are, what you do, how you got there.
I'm Nicholas. I'm a writer, occasional stand-up comedian. I'm out here in Mormon country studying their ways to be a more perfect white man. And I worked as a registered nurse for a long time, but in the background, I kind of wrote and did performing when I could. And now I'm making a go of it. Like an actual, honest to God go of it.
And how's that going?
I'm just as broke as I was before, so it's not any worse.
Isn't that funny how that works? It's like
right,
It's like you can always scrape it together if you need to.
Right, you're broke and you're doing what you like, but you're also broke and you have nobody to blame but yourself. So the misery and the newfound freedom cancel each other out.
So you've been writing for a long time, right?
I have, yeah. But I'll have little cycles where I write for a while, and then I'll be disgusted by everything I've ever put on paper, and I'll throw it all away. Like I swear to God, I'd be the most prolific writer that's in the United States if I could get back everything I've ever thrown away in anger or rage or disgust.
I don't know what prolific means, but that was a good word drop.
Thanks. I like to do that too. I look smarter if I follow my word a day calendar.
Yeah, no, isn't that's I feel the same way. I have a bunch of notebooks that I've written in over the years and journals and stuff, but there has been times when I was just like, fuck this, I'm just throwing it all out, throw stuff out. Or like, have you ever had a hard drive? I had a hard drive full of like articles and books I had started and all this stuff, probably like thousands of pages of
hard drives are worse because like if you throw away a notebook, you can change your mind and dig it out of the garbage, or like a concerned spouse can dig it out of the garbage. But I had a Google Drive. You can't dig that. When you delete that out of disgust, it's gone.
Yeah, or if you bring it out back and smash it with a hammer during a mental health crisis.
Absolutely.
You can't unsmash a hard drive. You cannot unsmash. Yeah, no, it's what was it that brought you to writing, you think, like, at such a young age?
I didn't, probably just being a nerd and not having people to hang out with. I did not have a whole lot of friends growing up. That's like the kind of cliche answered. So I grew up with my grandparents, and they had stacks of books that I kind of kept myself occupied with. And then when I learned to write, I'm like, maybe I can kind of copy what these dudes are doing. And a lot of it was like 19th century shit. So my copying was like Charles Dickens and
you were a fucking nerd
and stuff, right? No, I'm telling you, it was terrible. Like if I could find some of the shit that I was copying when I was like deep in my Charles Dickens phase, I'd love to bring it out because I'm sure it's the worst, most hilarious shit.
And so you were just kind of copying it along, and then
I think that's kind of how everybody starts. At least if you start young, you just kind of copy what the guys that you like, and then eventually you kind of develop. Maybe I'm just a piece of shit that copies people. But
no, actually,
stand-up was kind of the same way. Like I copied a lot of the stand-up comics that I admired, and then eventually you kind of develop your own voice, and you can stop being a plagiarist.
Actually, Stephen King talks about in his book on writing that the first stories and books he ever wrote is he would take the stories and just change. He would copy them word for word,
yeah.
but then just change stuff occasionally.
Whatever.
Yeah, and so I mean, if it worked for him, you know what I mean?
Hell, if you're making money,
yeah.
if somebody wants to pay me to copy shit right now, I'll do it for you. I'm a
Not
whore
to
for money, whatever it is.
not to change the subject, but I've really fucked myself by shaving because no matter what angle, the camera is literally facing down upon me, and I still have a double chin. There's no way to get rid of it.
The one thing I've learned in living in Utah is that white people should not shave.
I have to I have to podcast like this from now on.
There's no way to make it look good.
I'm like the Rizzler. You know who that is? That little fat kid.
Yeah.
The cultural icon, the Rizzler.
It's been a minute since I've heard about the Rizzler, but
is he still popular? You think?
I don't think so. No.
Fucking Jimmy Kimmel probably sucked his soul out of him after the end of that fucking, and that was the end. That was the end of the Rizzler, or not Jimmy Kimmel. Who's that other idiot? The other late night guy that I don't like. Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, Jimmy Fallon.
Fallon. God, I fucking can't stand him. I actually was pissed when he got kicked off of his late night show because it was like, I think I probably speak for all comedians when I said no one wanted to have to defend him. You know what I mean? We wanted him to lose his show,
right?
Because he's not funny.
If you're gonna go after somebody, you make it a free speech thing, and you make it somebody that I don't have to like. Oh, this fucking idiot. Yeah, she's a fucking idiot. But
I don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to have to defend this fucking vanilla pudding motherfucker. I want to defend someone who got caught saying, hold on, what words are canceled now? No, probably not that one. No, probably not. Never mind. You know what? I'm gonna
saying it, and then they're gonna get canceled.
I'm gonna stop this bit right now. So Utah, why did you choose Utah? Because I know that you grew up in the bayous of Florida, America.
Are there bayous in Florida? Yeah.
Are there bayous? I thought, isn't that what they're famous for?
I didn't see any bayous. I saw a lot of angry white people, which translates to Utah really well, actually. Also
bayous. Yeah. You also see that in the bayous.
No, I didn't choose Utah. My wife did, actually. She lived out here a long time ago before we met. And then, like, in 2019, we came on vacation out here, and I'd never been. Like, I was born in California, but I don't have any memories of it. And since I was a grown-up, I had never really been west of the Mississippi. And then we came out here, and I loved it. Like, it's not humid. You can take a shower and get out of the shower and not be sweating balls again immediately. Like, I like the climate, and people are actually pretty friendly. And so I kind of liked it a lot. And then she was like, we should move out here someday. And I'm like, yes, someday we should. And then like 2 months later, COVID hit and the kids were out of school and nothing was going on. So I was like, we should move out here now since nobody's doing anything anyway. And we did.
You bored? You want to move across the country?
Exactly.
I do think that yours is an interesting case in nature versus nurture because you were born in California, moved to Florida, and yet the woke was so infected into you at birth.
Right, I'm a
that you had no choice
wherever I go. You know,
interesting, very, very interesting. As someone born and raised in New Hampshire, I can tell you that I went through a Republican phase. I'm glad that I stopped.
Well, I was going to ask because New Hampshire is pretty fiercely independent, right? Like, you guys can be kind of woke, but you also love your guns. So, like, yeah, how does that work?
It's I mean, we're like a very weird mix because we also were the Free State movement. Like the Free State movement and the Libertarians like picked New Hampshire to move to come be.
You guys have the one decent state motto. Like every other state motto is a piece of shit.
Every other state motto sucks. We also have the only decent state bird, and I'm willing to die on that hill.
What's your state bird?
I don't even know, but fuck all those other birds. I think it's the goldfinch. I was hoping you weren't going to ask me.
Oh,
it's the goldfinch.
Everybody knows the goldfinch.
And I think our state flower is lavender, but I don't know for sure. Although I've been a little bit annoyed with New Hampshire lately because I feel like the old man on the mountain fell like 22 years ago now, and it's time for us to move on and find like a new symbol.
You guys are still hung up on the old man on the mountain. Yeah,
there are adults born today that have never even had the opportunity, or there are adults living today that were born after the old man on the mountain fell. So It's time to move on. It's time we figure out something else.
What would you move on to? Because maybe that's the problem. Maybe the one decent thing in your state fell 20 years ago, and
I think we should replace it.
Something else.
even though me and Adam Sandler are in competition, I think we should replace it with the face of Adam Sandler. I think that should be our state symbol, and our model, and our motto should be "Stop looking at me, Swan."
Adam Sandler was here a couple of weeks ago. Like, right, I live that's downtown in the mountains and stuff, and the Delta Center is right over that little roof. And Adam Sandler was here, and there was almost nobody at a show. I was kind of sad.
What's funny is you said you're using your your computer camera. You turned it around and it's just a big white screen because of the
Yeah,
brightness.
it was in the lower right, blank whiteness. Yeah.
Yeah, no, me and Adam Sandler are in competition to see who can be the most famous New Hampshire person who come from New Hampshire. He doesn't know it yet though. He doesn't know it because I'm working my way up. I do one of the things
You're gonna sneak up on him.
I think I've knocked a couple people down. I have more YouTube followers than General John Stark ever did. So
I don't
I'm
know
moving.
who that is, but
General John Stark is he was like he was maybe the most historically important, greatest person to ever come from New Hampshire. He was the one who said "Live free or die." He was he's cooler than George Washington. Frankly, he was like a real bad motherfucker.
But does it hurt that the most historically important guy out of New Hampshire is somebody that people outside of New Hampshire have never heard of?
I mean, it sucks that he doesn't have as many YouTube followers as me. You know what I mean? Fuck him. He probably killed a lot of fucking Native Americans. So.
Oh yeah, no, sure. If he's historically important, then he's done some awful shit.
Yeah, no, he definitely did some terrible stuff, and he should not be forgiven for it. But he did come up with our state motto, so there's that. So you went from California, Florida, Utah. Any more plans to move to another place? Are you coming to New Hampshire?
I found my home among the white people, and there's no getting whiter than Utah. I've looked; it's not possible. No, it's actually Salt Lake City is very diverse, as it's possible to get in Utah. It's still like 95% white people, but the rest of the state is 99% white people, and it's got a lot of cool people. Like, I'd make fun, but I
knowing what you do about I'm sure knowing you've probably you've probably read about 700 books on the history of Utah and how it like came to be and the importance of fucking Joseph Smith in the forming of Salt Lake City.
Joseph Smith never got out here. He was murdered in Illinois.
Yeah, that's right.
He never got to Salt Lake City. By the time it was Salt Lake City, there later was Brigham Young, a real scumbag.
A real piece of shit, but maybe one of the coolest nicknames of all time, the Lion of the Lord.
Yeah.
Right? That was him, right?
That is. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool fucking nickname. Like, if I could choose a nickname.
If you got like 60 wives to pick nicknames for you, you're going to land on something.
One of those wives had to be a great writer. That's he had a write. That's why he had so many wives, because he needed a writer room for his propaganda.
I need a writer. I need a PR guy. I need somebody that could draw me as 7 feet tall. He was short. He's like 5'2". His grave is like a quarter mile that way. And I've been to it, and they had a life-size statue, and my son is almost taller than he was.
And I think it's important for us to stop here and just say, before any Mormons get mad, that we know that you don't want your women to read or write, and we're not saying that they did. Okay, I just want to touch on that. We respect your culture, and if that's what you believe, then we have no problem with that.
I would do nothing to offend your listeners who are all on board with female illiteracy. Mormon, Salt Lake City, Utah. So, are you sort of entrenched in the history of the place? Do you find that sort of thing interesting? I am. I do find it really interesting. The history here is pretty, like, everything around here is at least 75, 100 years old, and it's like it's gotten into regular life. Like, the place that I grocery shop was a command post for the militia when they first got here. And they still keep a bunch of their artifacts. There's a musket up on the wall. It's just wild.
Nice.
Yeah. And like I said, graves. There's somebody famous buried within, like, there's Brigham Young's graves that way. I can't even remember his name, so he's not that famous. But like the army commander that marched out here to impose monogamy on the Mormons so that they could end the Utah War and join the Union. He's buried over there. It's
Do
pretty
you
cool.
ever? Do you know anybody who has more than one wife out there? Just be honest. It's okay.
No,
You don't have to give us
no,
their name.
I would never, and even if I did, I would never give them up to the cops like this.
That
But
can you?
I don't know them, but you can spot them because they live in little compounds. It's like, you've seen Big Love, I'm sure, right? Yeah,
Wait, what is it?
it's Big Love, the HBO
I
show.
saw. I used to watch Sister Wives with my wife.
Yeah, that dude. When we first moved here, we lived in Lehigh, and that's where they're from. We were probably,
Okay.
I think we were like a quarter mile from their house. But they'll buy a couple of houses next to each other, and then they'll put up a 9 foot tall fence to keep everybody, like, you can spot them if you know what to look for. There's not a
Nice.
lot in the metropolitan area, but like the next county north is Davis County, and they're entrenched in the government up there. That's like the Kingston clan. If you've watched a lot of those shows, the guys that own the banks and the cops up there, you spot them all over the place.
Nice. So you got to be careful probably about talking about them because you don't want to get killed.
You probably should not traipse down the sidewalk talking about these crazy polygamists and their child brides. No, that'd probably not be a good idea.
They're all very. I've never met a mean Mormon, so it's hard for me to imagine them not being nice. Although I'm sure they're not. I'm also, I can kind of blend. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I was just you fit in here.
Yeah.
That's not an insult or anything. You don't have to look like a.
Actually, I don't because Mormon dudes are all jacked and blonde and fucking like perfect specimens, right?
They are until they're 23, and then it is a quick spiral downwards.
That's what happened to me.
Right, there we go. We fit in. We're fine. No, I forgot what your question was.
I don't really know. I'm mostly just making fun of the Mormons.
Talking about the beauty of young Mormon men and how physically perfect they were.
They are physically perfect. It's hard to. So you didn't go to college out there then? I was gonna ask you about soaking. That was at least a 45-minute thing. So I don't really know what we're gonna talk about the rest of the day.
No, we just got our girlfriends pregnant the right American way.
The real American, the red-blooded American Christian way.
That's right.
And then, just like good red-blooded American Christians, we brought them across the border to have an abortion. So tell me about this book that I have read, but I'm going to pretend I haven't for this segment of the show. Tell me a little bit about the Two Henrys, how you designed your cover.
Oh, yeah, that's a piece of brilliance right there. I got out MS Paint and I drew a circle. I drew a stick figure with a guy holding a bag of money in what white women call wish fulfillment. You put it out in the universe, you can make it true.
You got to get a crystal first, I think.
Two Henrys is a story about a couple of guys who go to a school here. One's there on a scholarship because he's poor, another guy's rich, and they kind of get involved in a lot of the sort of same criminal things. But the one guy's privilege allows him to escape a lot of the consequences. And I think and then it goes on from there, and they kind of meet up later in life, and stuff happens. But it's kind of, I don't know, I didn't want to get too preachy with it, but it's kind of a commentary on the separate justice systems that exist for rich and poor in the United States. And I also tried to be kind of witty where I could and tell a story I thought would be interesting.
It's a great read. It was very interesting. I don't think you were too heavy-handed with it. I think reads like a good piece of satire that you don't realize is satire until it's over. And you're like, wait a minute, was he trying to teach me a lesson?
Yes, I was. I taught you. I secretly taught you. No, I'm glad to hear that. I didn't want to be heavy-handed. I hate a lot. We were talking earlier about a lot of the classics of American literature that are actually secretly suck, in my opinion. And I did not want to be overly preachy. I did not want to make it like a chore that this is me, the important smart guy, telling you what you should believe. Like, I wanted to kind of keep it somewhat subtle.
Name your top 5 American classics that suck.
Oh, The Great Gatsby is right there at the top, number 1. And I mean, if I could, I'd make it number 2 and 3 as well. I hate that book. I hate everything about that book.
What is it about The Great Gatsby that you hate?
It's everything I said that I did not want Two Henrys to be. The Great Gatsby is like it's the story is like it's full of these little weird coincidences that like in a sitcom would be like, oh, get the fuck out of here, like Daisy's your cousin, go shut up, like, and then it's from there, if they did that to make it approachable so that people would want to read it, that'd be fine. But it's not at all approachable. From there, it's just preachy and ridiculous, and it includes like just poor people being poor out in the world, so that you could look at them and go, they're poor. I hate it. I hate everything about it.
That's how I feel about. Have you ever seen the show Shameless?
Yes.
I've always felt this is my most deeply kept political conspiracy. I think that it's a psyop designed to make being poor look cool, because being poor fucking sucks.
It does.
So like,
I've only seen bits and pieces of Shameless. I don't know why I got excited like that, because I remember
you take
something. I did, but then I was like, wait, I'm too excited because I couldn't tell you anything about that show. But my wife watches it at the request of our oldest daughter, and she kind of watches it and points out all the reasons. My oldest daughter does not have good taste for liking it. So she watches it as like a homework assignment, which is the only reason anybody ever reads The Great Gatsby anymore, too. So I think you're onto something with that analogy.
Yeah, no, I think that's perfect. All right, number 2, worst American classic book.
Oh, I really hated most anything by Nathaniel Hawthorne.
Such as you're gonna have to dumb way down for this audience.
The Scarlet Letter. Moby Dick is his most tolerable.
Oh, okay, I know him.
The Scarlet Letter is also frequently.
Wait, the guy who wrote Moby Dick also wrote the Scarlet Letter?
Yeah, it's
Wild.
Nathaniel Hawthorne. I know.
I had no idea. I read a fucking article the other day that was talking about how Moby Dick is actually a humor book, and like the whole thing is supposed to be taken as tongue in cheek.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a while since I've read it, but I don't remember it being funny at all.
I don't remember it being funny
either.
Maybe you had to be there. I don't know. Number 3. So we got fucking anything by Nathaniel Hawthorne, which I feel like covers more than 5 books. I don't know how many books you read. So you didn't like the Scarlet Letter either, huh? What do you think about Where the Red Fern Grows?
No, that's a pretty good book.
All right, well, fuck you then. That's what I was trying to tee you up there.
What's your problem? Wait, no. Hawthorne didn't. Moby Dick did not write Hawthorne. I'm gonna look like an idiot. You should edit that whole bit out.
I'm not going to.
I know.
We're here, baby. We've got here. That's okay. I say stupid stuff all the time.
That's all right. I'm not used to being up this early. What's your problem with The Red Fern Grows?
I never read it. I don't know. I was just trying to think of a book. Herman Melville was the one.
Yeah.
That wrote Moby Dick. I never read Where the Red Fern Grows, but it's supposed to be like a classic coming of age tale, right?
Yeah. It's I remember liking it a lot, but I couldn't tell you what it's about at this point.
I remember reading a few passages. I was a teenager and they were describing boobs in very great detail, and so I remember going in and reading that. But that was pretty much. I just wanted to see what boobs, mentally, if I could picture them.
I think the Red Fern Grows is classically every child's first experience of great detail of boobs. That's not true at all. I was
When actually, you're the perfect person to ask this because you're both sort of political adjacent and you love books. What do you think about people who want to ban books in school?
I'm obviously, I think that's a bad idea, and people listening to this group are like, lover of books. He thought Nathaniel Hawthorne wrote Moby Dick. Get the fuck out of here! They're gonna turn it right off. No, I think it's pretty pointless.
Nobody watching this could have named the fucking. If you hadn't said that Nathaniel Hawthorne hadn't read Moby Dick, literally there would be 7 people going out into the world 2 weeks from now who thought that Nathaniel Hawthorne wrote Moby Dick.
So listen, I went to an Episcopal high school, and they had a list. There was a thing of like banned books, and the only thing it functioned as was a book or a list of taboo books that we all had to read immediately. I was like, there's some reason they want to keep this. There's something sexy or forbidden about it, and now we have to read it.
Boob descriptions.
Right. Like whenever you see people bitching about it on social media, there was one guy I remember talking about a book that was like it was talking about it being a blowjob instruction manual. And so like, should third graders be reading blowjob instruction manuals? Probably not. But is it though? Like I didn't go check his work or anything, but
This is
I'd be very, very surprised if it was actually that explicit.
this
And
is my
usually,
thing. This is my thing about books that I always think is like third grade. You don't want them to have a blowjob instruction manual. I learned, and you probably also learned about fucking sex through pornography, internet pornography. Maybe the worst instructor on sexual education you could possibly have.
that's true.
I would literally rather fucking teenagers be able to be able to check out a book about how to perform a blowjob than to learn about it on porno.
That's an excellent point for sure.
Because it's fucking terrible. Our generation really got fucked. We had millions of hours of fucking pornography that we could watch, and we did.
Free in the
for
air.
free.
It's free in the air.
Yeah, you just grab it out of the air and fucking
Right.
there's fucking
made
vaginas and shit. Money shot, baby, money shot.
I made a joke a while back that got pretty decent reaction. It was like I want to go back in time, just to my when my grandfather was my age, and tell him that in the future pornography is free in the air, but water is $2 a bottle, and he'll lose his fucking mind.
Dude, if Benjamin Franklin came forward in history and was able to access internet pornography, it would kill him. It would literally kill him. And he was a fucking pervert too. He was a real pervert, and not even he could have fucking grasped what he was witnessing if he was able to get a hold of the internet today.
True. I think free porn is kind of the death of all further advancement, right? All the dudes that would ever invent anything to move society forward, now they're just constantly watching free porn.
Well, I feel very bad for kids today, because when we were kids, it was like, okay, you're watching porn, and then someone comes in, you hit the fucking X, it shuts the browser, or you hit the last channel button. Dude, how the fuck are you supposed to hide a sex robot in your fucking house, in your room? Like, it's like a whole thing now. You got your VR goggles on and your dick vacuum plugged in, and you got to fucking also keep an eye out to hear if your parents are coming.
Listen to Uncle Moneybags over here with his sex robot.
I mean, I don't have it. I don't know how these kids are getting these fucking things.
How are kids jerking off these days?
I don't.
Dick vacuum? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, fucking dude, there's like the pornography industry has always pushed technology forward, and people want to deny that, but nobody has benefited more from AI and fucking artificial or VR than than the porn industry.
I feel like I'd have to look this up to be sure, but I want to say like special effects in movies exist because of guys that developed these techniques while they were making porn, and certain cinematic techniques exist because dudes did it in porn.
There was a movie called Pirates, which was a pornography spoof of Pirates of the Caribbean. That had a bunch of like groundbreaking CGI. It was the most expensive porn ever made, and it had like a ton of groundbreaking CGI and special effects when it came out. That completely that like basically led to Marvel movies today. It was like completely shot in green screen, and like they were like the first fucking people to be doing that shit. It was wild.
God bless them.
God bless them. I think it came out in like 2001.
I want to say, I swear to God, I think I've seen it. I think I read an article about the high price.
Oh, definitely. I can assure you.
I was 2001. I was 15, so I was like, ooh, all right, and I made it happen.
I've always wanted. So, did you know that Benjamin Franklin was a pervert?
I did not know.
He wrote this letter to a friend called "Advice to a Young Man on the Choice of a Mistress," and it was basically telling him how he should try to bang an old lady. And he gives 7 pieces of advice, and then he later, I believe, expanded it to like a 36-page pamphlet about why you should fuck cougars.
Of course, if you're a pervert, you don't want you can expand this into a little mini series of why you should fuck poopers. You can't get them pregnant.
But yeah, he was traveling all over and fucking spreading his seed all over the world. He was like America's first ambassador. He was that was just a way for fucking Ben Franklin to go try to conquer other nations with his meat sword. He was all about it. And yeah, so he wrote a bunch of like weird sex forward, sex positive stuff. So good for him. He
What
was
if
a
you,
real
if you could look back and find out that you are descended from one of Ben Franklin's mistresses, and
that would be
we're like
crazy.
cousins. We're distant cousins.
That would be cool. You
Yeah,
still can't come over for Thanksgiving. I need you to stop asking.
fuck me.
So you're working on a new novel now, right?
I am. Yeah, it's kind of a sci-fi-ish, thriller-ish, but I'm also trying to be kind of satirical. Um, it'll be a longer. Short, Two Henrys was kind of like on the short end of what technically classifies as a novel. I think it was like 59,000 words. This will probably end up like 120,000. So a
That's crazy that
decent
you
like
can
it's
know
it's
that
gonna hurt.
already.
It's gonna. You have a good idea. I mean, it's not. If it landed exactly 100, like 120,000, I'll be fucking. I'll like, I'll
That's a
have to have
skill.
gone out of my way to make that happen. But it'll be thick enough that if you throw it at somebody, it'll hurt. It'll be assault,
Nice.
aggravated assault.
That's what we like to see.
Um, yeah, but
That's what most people do with books today. So that's perfect.
that's the most use they get from my kids. My kids are not as interested as I was, but they have friends and stuff. They're not nerds.
That's
They're
good.
sociable. Yeah,
That's good.
it's good that they're sociable and not terrible people.
My kid's really into like mechanical stuff. Like for
Yeah,
Christmas, he wants all these tools and shit. He's
yeah,
9. We bought him a toolbox a couple of years ago. We had to sort of restrict it a little bit because he takes all of our shit apart all the time.
that's exactly what happened with my 7 year old. My 7 year old
Yeah.
is autistic and nonverbal, and so he loves to take shit apart. And so we had to take away anything that will facilitate him taking shit apart.
Yeah, my son's actually taken his bicycle apart more than he's ridden it. Like I used to just come out onto the yard and it was just disassembled on the yard, and I was
Awesome.
like, okay,
That's cool. That's very cool, though. He's gonna invent something or build
it's
something.
really cool until you have to try and put it back together.
Oh no, he should put it back together.
Well, he
Anything my son takes apart is ruined because I'm not putting it back together. His skill at disassembling is way above my skill at reassembling.
he's gonna be more into demo. Like he's gonna be a demo guy.
There's gonna be a lot of things to
um,
take down once society crumbles and we all have to fight each other in the streets for meat.
and then luckily I'm gonna have the best-selling book by Nicholas Stewart to really whip at someone
Oh
to
yeah,
fucking to
absolutely.
fend them off.
That shit's gonna hurt, and then the rest of them scared and they'll run off.
Do you do you you've had a little bit of a I've heard you talk about your introduction to stand up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you and me both had ulterior motives going into stand up. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
What you'll have to remind me. What was your ulterior
Yeah, I
motive?
have to remind you of your own story. Did I make this up? My
Maybe
ulterior motive or your ulterior motive?
your ulterior motive, because then
I started
that'll
doing
trigger my ulterior motive.
the reason I started doing stand up was so I could infiltrate comedy clubs and get people to star in my stupid films.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I started doing it because it was basically a way for like be like, hey, look, guys, I'm one of you, and then I just happened to enjoy it, so now I just do it. But that was my original plan was just to use it as a networking event to meet people to
I
act my
see.
comedy
I,
skits.
I have these conversations with people and apparently I completely forget. Like we had this whole discussion about. I'm sitting here like, what the fuck are you talking about? But yeah, I know. Um, because I was writing a lot of different stuff, and that included like a lot of just kind of one-liners and funny little stories, and I thought could kind of maybe get on stage and tell them and see if how funny they were, because you can't really. I mean, you can think something's hilarious when you write it down, but you don't really get a sense of what if it is or not until you tell it in front of people, and then you can kind of adjust it from there. But I had the opposite reaction of yours, whereas you really enjoyed it. I'm still like this. I have one on stage persona, and that's the nervous guy, terrified, telling his joke really quick so he can get the fuck off stage. But
My on stage persona is my real life persona, which is hidden gay man,
It's working.
sneaky gay man.
Hell yeah. But yeah, no, the comedy club is actually really close. It was more to the right of that white blob I showed you earlier. So
Oh, you're right there. That's cool.
yeah, no, that's that is cool. I'm like a third of a mile away. So
Are there a lot of comedy clubs in your town?
no, this is the one, and this is kind of
I
cool.
didn't
I'm a
even know
third
the
of a mile.
Mormons allowed comedy. To be
They
honest,
don't. They don't know about it, and you're not allowed to be funny. If they know people are there and laughing, they're gonna shut it right the fuck down. But it's there,
they're never.
and
They're not allowed
it's
to be funny, but they're not allowed to not smile either. It's very weird.
That can't be impolite. No, there is another the closest next closest comedy club is in Ogden, which is like 30 miles north. And then if you go south, there's like St. George, which is like 2.5 hours away down by the Arizona border or New Mexico border, whatever state's down there.
Yeah, so
So
I'm dealing with this similar. So in New Hampshire, I go to Laugh Attic on Thursdays,
mhm,
and then which is just an open mic, and then there's no comedy clubs in New Hampshire. You got to go to Boston for actual comedy club.
really,
But we have different open mics that are just kind of jammed into wherever we can put them.
right.
So unfortunately, so you got one up on us. Is it? Do you have you? I'm sorry. So do you remember what your first time was like getting up on stage and doing that, and how you felt?
I,
And
it was I had I do. It's not a pleasant memory. I had the jokes I wanted to tell kind of written on my hand, but I had no sense of how long it would take to tell a joke or not tell a joke. Like I had no sense at all of timing. So I didn't know if I would need like 8 jokes written on my hand or three. So like I had 11. I had 11 jokes from the
how?
top right here all the way down to the bottom of my wrist or my bottom of the blade of the hand, as it were. And then I'm like 2 jokes in, and I've got 10 seconds left on the clock. And I think like my first joke got a decent reaction, but everything else is just eyes staring at you. Which of course makes you more nervous and more terrified, and so you start talking faster, and you sound more like an idiot. And then with 10 seconds left, I used all 10 seconds. I got 10 seconds into that last joke, and when the clock stopped, I stopped talking and just left. There was no,
What?
I did not wrap
Wait,
it
you
up with
only
it.
get
Yeah,
10 seconds? You only get ten
no, when
seconds
there
on the comedy
was,
club?
it was 3 minutes, but when I had 10 seconds left of
Gotcha.
my terrible set, I stopped talking. I ended it right on the word I was on when the clock hit zero, and I politely left the stage.
I mean, that's actually ideal. You don't want to be one of those guys who's running the
Well, I think
light.
ideally is making people laugh, but if I gave that up on my first time, then
Do you remember what your
next
first joke was?
I'd have to look it up, but it got a decent reaction. But again, there was a whole lot of, hey, this is my first time, be nice, and then the MC was like, this is his first time, be kind of nice, and so I have no idea if it was actually funny or if it was just pity laughter. They didn't give me any more pity laughter. They used all their pity laughter on the first one, and the rest is like, you're in it now, son.
Cricket, cricket. You're
Right.
like, how about that tuna fish? And they're cricket, cricket.
You can make this.
And now, but now look at you. You're a professional. You're a professional stand-up comedian who makes money now.
Yeah, yeah.
How
Look how
did
far I've come.
how did that feel? How does that, especially knowing
It's
you and knowing that you don't even really like it?
it's still kind of terrifying, and it's still not really my not what I enjoy. Not what if you know not what I would do if I had all the money in the world, because I'm still stuck at that like nervous guy that hates talking in front of people thing.
Do you think?
I thought that would get better as time went on, but it just does not.
I don't think it does. I
Yeah.
actually, one of my favorite stories of all time was told by Henry Rollins about Ozzy Osbourne. And basically, the first time that Henry Rollins met Ozzy Osbourne, he was standing on stage. His band had opened up for Ozzy, and he came off stage, and Ozzy was standing there looking super nervous. And he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, hey, great set, man." He's like, "Just out of curiosity, is there anybody out there?" And he was like, yeah, dude, it's like a stadium full of 60,000 people chanting Aussie. Like, yeah, there's people out there. And he said, oh, thank God. I worry that, I worry every time that nobody's going to show up. So, like, that just doesn't go away, apparently. Apparently, you just live with that forever.
Well, that's good. That's good to know that there's no relief in the future, ever.
How fucking crazy is that, though, man? I can't even... Like, that's some mental illness. That's some deep mental illness. To be that fucking famous and think that just nobody's going to show up. Dude, you could be that famous and just go to Costco and fucking people will show up.
Yeah, that feels disingenuous. You got 60,000 people and you thought nobody would come? Like,
I mean, he was pretty drug fried, you know?
I was going to say, that's some brain damage.
R.I.P. though, because you're still the king. You're still the king, Ozzy.
Absolutely. I like Ozzy. I know it's problematic now, but
I
still love Ozzy. From what I see on social media, I don't know, some statements he's made about Israel, or some statements his wife has made about Israel. I don't know. I don't want to nitpick somebody.
I mean, everybody knows Sharon's a bitch. Nobody likes her.
I didn't know Sharon was a bitch. I didn't know.
Sharon's a super bitch.
I know she was on The View, but other than that, I have no knowledge of Sharon. Is she a bitch?
No. I've always gotten that vibe from her, but she was also, I mean, she was like, I actually don't know if I would use the term bitch because I know that's used a lot against like women in business, but she was like essentially the actual like business side of the reason that they really got famous and were able to make money is because she was like handling all of the business aspect of things. So I feel like maybe she's just
probably kept him alive for another 20 years.
Yeah, she's probably just like a boss. She's probably just like a boss lady, but I don't know. I don't fucking...
Boss ladies can come across that way, and then that can be the popular
maybe she's a bitch. I don't know. But what I do know...
Everything you find under the sink.
What I do know is that Ozzy was old as fuck, and to take anything he says seriously about Israel, one way or the other, is fucking completely just stupid.
That's exactly my point. I don't want to, even not like the smartest dude in the world, I wouldn't want to nitpick his statements when he's like famous for music.
Yeah, I mean,
Ozzy,
obviously Palestine was a genocide, but I don't expect Ozzy Osbourne to know that. He's got other shit. He's got other shit to deal with.
I'm impressed if Ozzy Osbourne knows where he is at any given time.
I'm impressed if he can pronounce Palestine. I mean, he definitely can't now.
Dude.
Because he's dead?
Dark.
Is that not good? Is that no good? This is good.
Now you're problematic.
Yeah, this is now fuck. Well, no, because I hate a guy who loves Israel, apparently. It's cool to show Ozzy.
You're right. No.
I'm really kind of playing both sides of the coin.
So that you're going to skyrocket to the top of the podcast.
This is a fucking...
New Hampshire podcaster takes on
I'm very subtly,
Ozzy Osbourne.
This giant head is actually full of giant brains, and I'm very subtly manipulating so that I'm actually agreeing with both sides.
That's your trick, is that you appear to be this clueless buffoon, but you're actually craftily...
A clueless buffoon. They're like, you can't hold him responsible for the things he says. He's obviously an idiot. And then you could just be an idiot and say whatever you want.
That's right. Idiot like a fox.
I think it's... yeah, like a really fat fox. A fox that has really been glutting itself on a fucking chicken farm for a while. Just covered in syrup because he was eating pancakes too.
That's an image.
So I'm not just because you're my friend. I'm gonna compliment you now and say that you're actually literally a phenomenal writer. Like really great.
Thank you. I am still at that place where I feel like when people tell me that, I feel like they're lying to me for some motive I can't figure out.
Well, actually, you
hear it. It's weird to hear it, but thank you.
The motive is I'm hoping to be the Bill Clinton to your Trump. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, you live really far away, so I got to get you out of here first.
I'll make it, baby.
Just call me Bubba. But what I wanted to say was that, I think maybe you can talk a little bit more on this, but like humor, being a humorist, being a humor writer is actually not at all in vogue. It's like not popular at all. Humor writing has just like tanked over the last couple decades.
Yeah.
Well, at the same time, it's like inverse to werewolf pornography. It's like the more werewolf pornography is, it like squeezes. It's like I don't know if they're the same demographic, so there's like not enough time to read
It
funny stuff
is
now.
when you're all like cummed out and exhausted from werewolf pornography. You can't be funny or care about people being funny.
But the problem is you love humor, you love reading humor, but then you love reading werewolf pornography, and now there's so much werewolf pornography that like when you finish one and you're done coming, you just got to grab the next one. So
You're asking me to write funny werewolf pornography.
I think that's actually that's the advice I'm going to give you as your agent right now. Is that I think you should start writing hilarious satirical werewolf porn.
On it. I bet that's funny as hell. Actually, I bet if I did it, like, there's a market there.
I think so for sure.
If I could be funny, but it is tough. There's not a lot of it, and I don't know if it goes to like what we were saying earlier, that it's kind of hard to know what's funny until you put it in front of an audience and see if they laugh. And then it's like, so to get that with a book, it's almost like there's you have to you'd have to repeat the process over and over again. And I don't know if it's still funny after test proofread something 10,000 times. If you tell the same joke 10, over and over and over and over and over again, you either get something that's like really, really flawlessly hilarious, or something that you're kind of sick of and want to go away. And I almost wonder if that's kind of why there's not a lot of decent humor literature anymore. Like last time I saw something that I wrote that was meant to be funny, it's usually like some New Yorker cartoon, and they're very often not. Like they're very often really bad.
It is. There are like a couple of humor magazines still. I guess the New Yorker is considered a humor magazine.
Yes, the highbrow entry. I know Cracked is still around, but like
I don't think they're writing new material. They're just using AI to write garbage now, I think.
the last time I took a peek at a Cracked magazine was at the Walmart magazine section.
Oh, I didn't even know they still had a magazine. I thought they were simply
they still have a print magazine, and
fuck,
it's pretty bad.
It's just listicles.
Yeah, it's more or less. It's like they reprint a lot of stuff from like, hey, remember when we were funny 45 years ago?
Dude, Mad Magazine does that shit. Mad Magazine does that shit. I used to. Go ahead.
No, it's just because it's so hard to write new shit. So they reprint a lot of, remember when you were in middle school and you loved us? We're still those guys.
I don't. It's as someone who loves humor writing and also loves comedy in general. I just think it's interesting that you I don't know. Do you consider yourself a humor writer? Is that what you consider yourself?
I like. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard to. I think it's even harder to be that specialized. Like I think that's kind of like my core competency, if you will. But like even then, I write a lot of stuff that's not funny, or I write stuff that I'm not trying to.
Oh, you write a lot of shit that's not funny.
That's intentional. No, I mean I would think it would be hard to even kind of consider yourself that specialized. Where the way like a stand-up comedian of his material ideally is meant to be funny with a pretty regular punchline every couple of minutes at the most. Where humor writing, like you might write whole chapters that aren't even trying to be funny, and the payoff comes later on. It's weirder. It's harder to define when it's written down.
Yeah. No, I think that does make sense, especially when you look at like the people who have been successful, like The Onion, who like really they just write funny headlines with like 4 sentences that like just sort of expand on the headline, but you don't even have to move beyond the headline to kind of get it.
And I kind of like as soon as you said The Onion, I was thinking like, when's the last time I actually read an Onion article? It's just basically repeating the headline in 6 different. It could basically be like rejected versions of that headline.
Right.
Like it's not the story's not funny. And
they just kind of rehash it a couple times, which I mean is fine. It is what it is. I mean, they're funny. It's so hard to make people laugh in general that like,
Hmm.
especially now where everything is so terrible, like you really need to fucking work at it. Like everything sucks so bad.
Yeah,
Like I gotta overcome your fear of World War
yeah.
III to fucking make you laugh at this cum joke. All right, here we go. Let's fucking. We're
I
gonna
didn't want
find
to
out
sound
real
like I'm
quick.
this douchebag sitting up here being like, criticize, like I'm saying, yeah, this is the Onion that's doing this. It's not even funny. No, it works for what it is, but that's probably like the closest written equivalent to a standard stand-up setup where it's like quick punchline, bam, 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 bam. The Onion headlines are probably like the closest written equivalent to that.
So if you could, so
That's why
you
they
don't
do it so
like,
well.
you don't love stand up. You're not in love
No,
with stand up. You do
I'm
love
not.
writing.
I
Would
do.
you like as like an ideal profession? Would you want to be a writer on like a sitcom or like a show of some kind or something like that?
Absolutely, absolutely, something like that would probably be ideal because then I'm still regularly testing this material to a live audience, which is like the best sort of feedback. But it's not me that's doing it. It's some other schmuck that is good at it that can go and get real time feedback. And then if he sucks, I can blame it on him.
So how do you get a job being a writer like that
Huh. I don't know.
in
How
Salt Lake
you
City,
tell me?
Utah? I don't
That's
know.
an
Fuck,
excellent question.
fuck.
I don't know.
I
What?
literally just act like an idiot, and I just continue to hope that someone's gonna be like, "Hey, he's a big enough idiot that we'll put him on
You're gonna
TV." Like that's sort of
absolutely
how I
if
do
I'm
it.
the idiot, if I'm an
It's
idiot
not
for the right
working, so
person at the right time, maybe
yeah.
they'll be like, I want that idiot to write for my $1 million show. I want to risk millions of dollars on that idiot.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm
I don't know
like,
how to do that either.
they're like, wow, this idiot is so fucking stupid that there's no way he can lose. That's what I'm hoping is going to happen, and it hasn't yet. But I'm confident that if I keep going
It's in
with
the cards.
no,
You're
with
taking down that
absolutely
general dude, that
no proof
general
of
guy.
concept, no positive reinforcement, I've never gotten even an inkling that it's working. But I'm going to keep going on blind faith. That if I just keep doing that, it's going to work out eventually.
Damn, dude, that's depressing as hell. But
Whatever.
it's gonna work out. You took down that general dude from New Hampshire. Adam Sandler is next.
Adam Sandler's like, you know what? I feel like honestly, life really like there's no really no point to life. All we're here to do is make each other happy. So if I can just make one person happy, at the end of the day, then I did the best I could.
You've made me happy. Your
Well, that
videos
I
and your
mean,
posts
I
on a regular
appreciate that.
basis, even in a completely non-sexual way. Your videos and your
Well,
posts make me
wait
laugh on a regular basis.
wait until you come to New
So,
Hampshire. There's this whole everybody's gonna be like, man, maybe Nick is gay. I actually got more. I used to get regularly that people thought I was gay for some reason. It happened a lot. Like during the formative years of my life when I was like 17 to
really?
like 22, I had people being like, just so you know, people who I were my family, who I loved, were like, if you wanted to come out to us, we wouldn't hate you. And I was like, I have a girlfriend. They're like, yeah,
Yeah, well, we understand.
so did John Wayne. You know what I mean?
If you want to ditch the beard and come out,
Yeah, no, the lack
oh,
of beard makes me look like I'm going to be released on an Epstein case. The lack of beard is not fucking good. It was a mistake. I fucked up, all right? There's no good way for me to not have a beard. I can't. I'm too fat now. I need a jaw enhancing surgery if I'm going to fucking try and go beardless.
Jesus Christ. I think I had a business idea. I think some jaw enhancing surgery clinic out here would clean up. Absolutely. No, it's wild. What's wild is I noticed this again the other day, and I noticed it from the moment there are more billboards per capita here, anywhere else, advertising services to cure Peyronie's disease, which is a painful curvature of the erection.
Really?
If you're yes, there are billboards all over the fucking place.
Painful
Like,
curvature? How fucking curved is
yeah,
this thing? It
it's
looks like a
it's
pig's dick. It's like a
it
fucking. It's like a. It's like a spiral.
it, apparently it's curved enough to hurt, and there are billboards all over the place saying that it's safe to come here
Okay,
which
safe to
makes me
come.
want.
Safe to come here. We don't care how curved your dick is.
So I don't know if Utah has more painful curved erections than other places, or
Dude,
if
it's
this is
like a
just a
beaver's
place where
tooth.
it's
It's like
safe
how
to
a
come
beaver's tooth, if it doesn't chew wood, will like grow up into its head. Their dick just keeps curving backwards, and eventually it goes through their stomach and out their back, and
Yeah,
kills
dude,
them.
you're gonna get a Peroni's support group coming after you.
Yeah,
You're like,
they're
it's
like, that's
actually a
not
very
funny.
serious. It's a very serious condition. It's not
This is
funny
a
like
real
your beaver
problem.
tooth.
Their fucking dicks growing up through their head. They're like, I've dealt with more fucking difficulty.
Oh man, you're gonna be the public enemy number one of those people. They're gonna give you a Nick Beavertooth Sands.
That's
Hey, Roni's just such a fucking
that's
joke.
that's even worse than people whose dick is so big that they pass out when they get an erection, which has to
I've
be
heard
the
of that.
worst. Dude,
It
you must
does.
just have to lay there and be like, look, I can't any
No, like,
movement,
it
any
happens,
movement
and
at all.
those dudes can't even have sex. It like is painful for their partner. Having a giant dick is misery.
Thank
That's
God.
why
Luckily,
us
not
tiny
a course
people,
I was
right?
born
Yeah.
with. Luckily for the women in my life, that is
There
not a
was just
problem that they're gonna have.
I was reading some shit about some football player that part of the reason his wife divorced him is because he was too big for her to have without pain. She said that he was like 2 or 3 Coke cans stacked on top of each other.
Jesus Christ, could you? That's crazy. But imagine
Right?
the judge reading that fucking. He's like apparently, homeboy's packing, and he's like, yeah, high five, and the judge just
Right.
high fives him.
Your divorce is granted. Yeah.
He's like, I would like to call the plaintiff to the bench. High five.
Badass.
I don't. Yeah, no, not a problem for me. But I feel bad for whoever that does afflict. It sounds terrible. I'm sorry that that's happening to you.
Thank you for the last at your expense, sir.
Oh, I thought you were saying thank you for my condolences. You were like, thank you. It's not easy.
I was thanking
I'm dealing
him
with it.
on our behalf that
I got you.
the misery, the plague of his life has given us a lot of joy at this moment.
I don't know anything about football, but I mean,
not really.
good for him. I was going to talk about something else, but now I can't even remember what it was. You are like a political commentator. I don't know if you like to say that, but you do a lot of political articles.
I try not.
Stuff.
You know, it's honest. I honestly try. I try not to. I try to be less political these days.
That's crazy because.
But it does. I can't help it. Like I see some stupid shit about. I can't not say something.
No, totally.
Well,
I mean, there's so much. It's just like.
It happened yesterday. I was like, I'm gonna stop being so political all the damn time because I'm alienating people who might otherwise buy the book.
No,
and then I get out there, it's like, and there's some fucking post where Megyn Kelly is like, well, it's not technically pedophilia, and I'm like, you dumb bitch, what the fuck, and then it was like, no, I can't. You're absolutely. So I don't know if I would happily call myself a political commentator, but I comment on political stuff. So,
here's the thing. First, I
my
just want to
will.
say, like, if that's what you want to do, like, you're always gonna have an audience, and in fact, the people that you're worried about alienating are gonna read your book and be like, "This is communist propaganda trash."
This
Ain't no
shit.
way if that person hadn't just tried a little harder when they was a baby, they wouldn't have more money. That's what we need is child labor. If we really want to balance out the market, we need child labor. Do you know the actual reason child labor is illegal is not because it's immoral. It's because you can pay babies way less than you can pay adults. And so it just slaughtered it just dropped the rate of pay so much.
I've heard of that.
It was actually like a way to make it fair to adults to compete
damn
against
babies
children.
are stealing food out of our mouths.
These babies don't know shit about math. They don't know how much it costs to buy a Twix bar. We can fucking get them for half the price.
I believe there was a time when the American worker could not compete with a baby.
They
can't
can't.
intervene on his behalf.
I couldn't. You teach a baby how to edit a video, he's gonna do it way cheaper and probably better than me. I can't fucking compete with that.
Right. You can smack a baby around. They don't complain. They don't call.
Dude, you have kids. Go fucking grab a soccer ball right now and fucking tell me you could do a better job selling that than whatever fucking Cambodian
Oh,
child
absolutely not.
fucking did that.
Absolutely not.
Hand
Absolutely
stitched. Hand stitched. I can literally remember when I was a kid, there were soccer balls that were there was a brand of soccer balls that was like famous, that like they were such high quality that they were hand stitched, and then eventually everybody was like, hand stitched. Wait a minute. How is this only $7 if this must have taken 30 hours to make?
Right. 30 hours of child labor went into your soccer ball. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. I mean, granted, we're fucking killing people with our iPhones, but whatever. They're at least adults. I feel like it's better.
At least adults are jumping out of the Foxconn building windows because they can't, take piss breaks or.
That's how I feel about it. I mean, Amazon. We're so hard on poor. We treat fucking the victim that is Foxconn so bad. When Amazon has to hand out corporate literature about how to shit in a Tupperware so that you don't have to stop. If you're running late,
Utah opened their first like robotics fulfillment center out here at the same time that Amazon was flooding the zone with all these pamphlets on, please come work here. You can take bathroom breaks. You don't have to piss in a bottle anymore. And it's just the funniest fucking thing because they were everywhere. Like there's little sheets of paper saying you do not have to piss in a bottle at Amazon anymore, and it was awesome.
What do you think about AI? Speaking of robots, what do you think about AI? What do you think's gonna happen with that?
I want to like it. I enjoy tech stuff. I am kind of fascinated by a lot of tech stuff. Even though like growing up, I tried to learn to code and stuff, but I'm not that good at math, so I couldn't do it. I want to like it, but it's like lately, the more I read stuff that comes out of AI, like generative AI, the more I can see kind of really easy to spot patterns that it's not even plagiarizing very well anymore. And I don't know if it ever was. Like, I don't know if maybe we were just so impressed by the fact that a robot is writing this shit that we didn't take all that close a look at it. But considering that the end product isn't all that good, and running an AI sucks up all the water out of some fucking center of part of Wyoming, and it's basically a mass plagiarization machine that has all the same problematic labor issues as the rest of the tech sector right now. It's really hard to say anything positive about it.
It really is. I mean, I can write a subpar Substack article on nothing but a gas station hot dog. And this thing needs fucking a nuclear reactor, its own nuclear reactor, and the entire water table of fucking a small nation.
Exactly.
African nation in drought, but still a lot of water. Okay.
Exactly. No, that's my point. It's like we could have a denser discussion if the output was really good, but now that it's not, and I don't know that it ever was, there's really no debate to be had. Like,
well, the problem that they're running into now is there's so much AI slop that AI slop is no longer generating off of humans. It's now generating on AI slop.
AI generating off of AI, it's like 6 generations in now, and it's just nonsense.
And so they're actually training it to ignore AI, which is just like the ultimate slap in the face. The ultimate fuck you is that they're like, oh no, we're fucking 2 years into this, and we're already running into this issue where it's taking too much of its own.
We have to ignore all the results of this thing we made so that the thing we made can make stuff that doesn't blow. Like,
and also because it's like so good at optimization for like SEO, like search engines and shit, that like it's always the top results.
Right.
So it's really like it's like giving itself a prize. It's like, look at how fucking good this is.
And they say that Google is like not that reliable or useful anymore because it's just so flooded with AI garbage. I saw this AI picture just like probably a week ago where it had Donald Trump rescuing a child from some floodwaters with an American flag draped over his back. And like Donald still had 7 fingers per hand, and he was conspicuously dry, and the American flag was dry.
Skinny. How is he so skinny?
Yeah, no, he was super thin too. Yeah, he was. They definitely intentionally took like 70 pounds off of him. And
that was in the prompt. You're like Donald Trump minus 120
How
pounds.
you know it came, how you know it came out of the White House. Whoever did it, it came out of the White House. It's like he's got to be super thin, or I'm fired.
Meanwhile, the ones of Joe Biden were like, we need to make him look like he knows what's going on. That's the problem. Joe Biden looks like he knows what's happening.
Right, eyes open, focused retinas, please.
Donald Trump's hand doesn't look like it's exploding. This is dark times, which sucks too because you're a comedy writer. So really, this should be like this should be your golden era,
right? You would think so. I remember I was coming up like right when George W. Bush, who in retrospect seems like a fucking genius. Like remember like how shitty everybody was to him.
I pine for the days,
right?
That George W. Bush.
I never thought in 2003 I was like, you're gonna look back and this is going to seem like a fucking golden era compared to. But even like comedians, political comedy especially, was taken off, and it seemed like they had no shortage of material to work with. But now maybe it's just too depressing. It's like you'd think this is it's a buffet of material, but it just makes you want to kill yourself.
Well, I think one of the problems is that like there's all of the mainstream comedy now is just like political
Right.
comedy, and like it used to be like, you know, I always use Conan as the example, but like he never did political stuff. Like all of the shit he did was like very silly and whatever over the top. And like so you had him, and then you also had like other guys who were doing political, like you had the Daily Show at the time that was doing like kind of political stuff, and then you had, and so there was like a whole plethora of stuff. But now it's like
it's all political.
It's all political commentary all the time, and like I think people are just fucking sick of it.
It's kind of exhausting. Like who's the guy on the Daily Show now? Josh Johnson.
I don't even know. I haven't had cable TV in about 20 years.
I've seen no, I haven't. I see I see reels of his on like Facebook, and he's a funny dude, but it's constant. It's all political, and it's they're really not even jokes anymore. They're
Oh no, I said I feel bad. My girlfriend's head is right there. You hear everything. She's trying to sleep.
okay.
Sorry about that, dude. She's just not feeling well.
Are you good if I take this inside real quick?
Yeah, of
Can
course.
you like edit?
Yeah, we'll edit this out.
Apparently, I am being too loud for 10 a.m.
You son of a bitch. Are you at least friends with that guy, or was he not cool about it?
No, he's a jackass.
Oh.
No, he's full of complaints all the time. Let me see where I can.
He's full of complaints.
Yeah, he's constantly complaining about stuff. My wife was sitting outside the other day, just like she's smoking a cigarette and watching some kind of reel, and he came out and said that on her phone, and she complained that the reels were too loud.
Dude, your wife seems cool as fuck, by the way.
She's awesome.
Dude, smoking cigarettes?
Yeah,
outside smoking cigarettes? That's sick.
Is that
Yeah, that's fine. Do you need to cut this off? I know your kid's sleeping.
No, we're good.
Okay, I don't remember what we were talking about. Oh, just political commentary in general.
I was talking about Josh Johnson, where a lot of them aren't even jokes. They're kind of like they're delivered like takes, you know, where he doesn't have a setup and a punchline. He's got takes, and people share these reels, and it's like listen to this great take by Josh Johnson, and it's like I don't want. Remember when they told jokes? Remember when they told jokes? They didn't have like good viewpoints, and like he seems like a talented guy, and he's got a lot of good material, but that's what gets shared of his is his takes, and it's kind of weird, and I'm sure that's an example of the oversaturated market for it.
Yeah, I mean even because I remember like Sacha Baron Cohen did a lot of like sort of comedy stuff around political. Like, my favorite bit of his is, do you ever see the one where he did a sketch where he was pretending to be an investor who was building like a super mosque in this like small town in Alabama? Did you ever see that? And he was talking about, he's like, it's gonna be a religious beacon to the world, and everybody's gonna come, and they cannot wait. And everybody was like, okay. And then they assumed it was a church, and then he revealed it was a mosque. And then
no, this sounds awesome though. I gotta look it up.
It was fucking funny, but he was literally in danger. Like he talked about, he ended up having to cut it short because They like didn't allow
just to
people
get
to
his ass
bring,
kicked. People are gonna.
well, no,
fucking,
they didn't
like,
allow people to
go
bring
after
guns
him.
in, but they were watching him go to their car and get guns and like bring them back. They were like coming back because there were supposed to be two. They were supposed to shoot 2 meetings, and they only ended up shooting once because they were watching the people leave and go to their
Because all the
cars
big
and get their
Christian
guns and
folks
come
were
back.
gonna, we're gonna kill him.
Yeah, so I think he ended up not doing the same, or maybe he did. I don't remember, but fuck, dude, like that's the kind of shit that it's just
that
so.
I'm not.
But like risky too, you know, like risky politically. I don't know. It's like
No,
it's just like that's.
It's been a while since that sort of risk taking in any kind of comedy has been prevalent.
Yeah,
It's a shame that I'm not that familiar with his work before Borat.
Yeah, no,
I need to look up a lot of.
I think that was actually after.
About, like,
that
the
actually
Ali
came.
G show and stuff.
That actually came after Borat, I think. But Sacha Baron
Did
Cohen really was like at that time was like Dave Chappelle gets like a lot of the. I mean, people don't like him now, but I mean, it's hard to deny that he was one of like the.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
he changed the game completely, and I feel like
He
Sacha
was
Baron
not
Cohen was at least his equal.
I would agree.
His equal.
I would agree. They're kind of different. They're hard to compare, but at least in terms of like who was dominating comedy at the time, it's probably split up pretty easily, pretty evenly between the two.
All right, so now we're gonna move into a segment of the show that's new that I've only done one other time.
Ooh.
And I have this game that has a bunch of questions in it, and I'm just gonna pull cards out of the game, and some of them are normal, some of them are weird. I'm not gonna say the name of the game because they didn't respond to my sponsorship request. And so if you fucking want your name, this is a great game. I would gladly recommend it. But I'm not going to be trampled like some sort of 2-bit whore.
Free.
Okay? Yeah, not for free. I'll say it's great. It's a great game. I think everybody should go buy this game. And once they release the funds, I will tell you what the game is.
I'm excited to play this nameless game.
What? So
they'll see this genius implementation of yours.
Maybe you're gonna see it right now when I. No, you're not. You're not. No. All right. So, what will be written on my gravestone?
Jesus.
Jesus? You just want the word Jesus?
No, not for you. For somebody named Jesus, that'd be more appropriate. But,
oh no, what would be written on your gravestone? And then I'll tell you what I think would be written on my gravestone.
I literally thought it was like, what is going to be written on Nick Sands' gravestone? I don't want Nick Sands written on my gravestone. That's going to be fucked up. I'm pretty comfortable with a quotation of mine that white men shouldn't shave. I feel like that's pretty deep and profound.
You said that earlier. Is that like your catchphrase?
That's a callback.
Okay. Yeah. I thought maybe you just said it so often that was just like your catchphrase.
This is number 2 ever, but I think it's only up from here.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
The sky's the limit.
I think on my tombstone, I actually would like Nicholas Stewart written on my tombstone because I like the idea that people like your family is coming to my gravestone to mourn, and then since
by mistake.
Yeah, by mistake. Like that's sort of like that's sort of
cool.
like the final. That's sort of like the final joke. Actually, I always actually do stress about this, because you know I have spent the majority of my life trying to make people laugh and trying to make people happy and trying to make people have fun. And the last thing that I'm going to do in this world is hopefully make people sad. And so I've always tried to figure out a way that I could avoid that. So maybe it'll just be
kind of
my favorite. Maybe it'll just
like
be my favorite joke. Not that I've written, just a joke in general.
Do you have a favorite joke in mind?
I do. What do you call a stick that doesn't come back? Oh fuck! I fucked it up. What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back?
I thought that was the punchline. I'm like, oh, this is interesting.
What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back? A
stick.
Like,
it takes some of the air out of it when you like.
It does.
Tell it wrong,
it does. I'll tell him.
Scream at me, and
I'll tell my second favorite joke.
What's your second favorite joke?
Why did Helen Keller's dog kill itself?
I don't know.
You would kill yourself too if your name was.
Oh, that's a bummer. I don't know that that's a good funerary. If you want to
Well,
make
I do.
people
That's not
happy
the
in a
joke I wanted,
graveyard,
but I fucked up the joke I wanted. So now I had to go with this second joke that's less
put this in,
funny.
put this entire little monologue right there from the beginning of the boomerang joke to right now. It's not the joke I wanted. I fucked it up.
Yeah, this
Transcribe
is.
that whole thing. That's
I
that's
think
gold.
that
That's
is not
gold on
the.
a gravestone.
I do. Why is it that we're still allowed to make fun of Helen Keller?
I didn't know that we were ever not allowed to make fun of Helen
That's what
Keller.
I mean. We're
Like,
still allowed to make fun of Helen Keller. You're not going to get canceled on a
right?
Helen Keller joke.
I don't know. Maybe she got grandfathered in by when the new regulations came out. And they're like, you shouldn't make fun of deaf people or mute people, except Helen Keller, because we've been doing
Yeah.
that
Okay.
since,
That's
yeah.
fair. Because you can still do the old. You can still do the old. Have you seen Stevie Wonder's new piano?
Yeah. Yeah, he gets grand. There's a subset of deaf people that are like they're cool. We're gonna make fun of them.
Like very specific deaf people you can still make fun of. Have you seen Helen Keller's new dollhouse?
No,
Neither is she.
never. It's always in every new permutation. It's perfect. I love
Yeah,
it.
no, they're great jokes. They really are. How to?
Maybe it's
All right. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. We'll move on unless you have something else to add to the Helen Keller talk.
I don't.
All right. What can be found in your bedroom that can't be found in the bedroom of anyone else?
Ooh.
Of anyone else. We're just gonna say anyone else because this question. No, you know what? Fuck this question. This is a stupid question. You know what? Fucking don't buy this game. That I'm not gonna tell you who it was. That's a dumb question. What poor
Get your shit
decision?
together.
What poor decision have I made in the last 24? Have you made in the last 24 hours?
Oh Jesus! Here's an easy joke here about coming on this podcast, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm taking the high road.
Nice.
taking
I
the high
appreciate it.
road.
I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. Foolish
There are
decision
literally
last
going to
24
be
hours.
dozens of people that see this, okay?
We're gonna make scores of dollars.
No, I will not. I will not even make a sense.
I bought sushi from a grocery store down the street, and then it made my wife sick. And then I'm just sitting thinking, and it's like I bought raw fish in a city that is 1,000 miles from the closest ocean. I should have fucking known better. Like, it's ridiculous. That was.
Do they
stupid.
make sushi with fish out of the Salt Lake?
There are no fish in the Salt Lake. How wacky
What?
is that? It's so salty, there are no fish. There's brine shrimp, but like, yeah, nothing can survive in it. And that's why the Mormons thought it was the perfect place to set up a city. Here's a body of water that everything dies in. Let's build our city here.
That's
I
fucking
swear to
stupid.
God, that's not.
I didn't realize that there were no fish in it. I thought it was
There
just
are.
a salty lake.
No, it's like the Dead Sea. Its saltiness is comparable to the Dead Sea, so nothing can live in it except those tiny little microscopic waves of shrimp that feed birds.
When I was a child, I tried to have a fish tank, and I was very bad at it. I could not keep anything that went in there alive, and so at some point I had to give up because it was like I was essentially it was basically like I was going to buy fish to sacrifice to this fucking fish tank because everything I put in it died, and that's so similar to the Salt Lake.
That's the Great Salt Lake. It's like your childhood fish tank,
All right, perfect.
except a whole bunch of like experienced mountain or settlers moved next to it and thought that's the perfect reason to set up.
I mean, I feel like they had literally been persecuted and driven out of everywhere they went. So I think it makes sense.
They were just kind of tired. They're like, this is the first place that's empty. It's not full of motherfuckers that are going to kill us because we marry 8 women at a time. So.
Is that why they were persecuted? Why were they so fucking beat up?
Because they were kind of weird compared to everybody
Joseph
else.
Smith was just fucking people's wives, right? Wasn't he like banging a lot of people's?
There's a lot of that.
Because he was kind of a piece of shit, right?
He was kind of a douchebag, yeah. But lots of them were. Like, lots of people then were douchebags. They got driven
but he
out
was like
because
more
they
of
were-
a traditional scumbag. Like he was a gambler, wasn't he? And didn't he have like a bunch of weird
I don't-
gambling debts and shit?
I know he had a bunch of shit from earlier in his life where he had like different cons that he tried out. Like he was wanted in New York State because he had sold a bunch of farmers on his divining rod scam where he can like tell you where to dig a well by using this magic stick, and he got sued, and like he was kind of a con man beforehand. But I think a lot of it at the time, people were scared that like all these Mormons are going to get together and they're going to vote for the same guy, and they're going to put some fucking weirdo that bangs 9-year-olds into
How
the state
crazy?
Senate.
How crazy is it that that's literally the excuse being used against Muslim people today? Like we have literally learned nothing. We have learned
Right?
absolutely nothing.
It was used for Catholics too, and not Irish Catholics, and now they're the ones using it on the next group. Like, you know,
Interesting.
why not use why think of something new? Use an old classic if it works.
Isn't it? That's actually funny because all of the you can find literature that goes back all the way through American history that uses the exact same arguments against every
It really
immigrant.
is.
Every
All this shit
immigrant.
is all this shit is 500 years old. The fucking Indians said it when Christopher Columbus got off his boat. Like he's gonna vote for some shit and he's gonna take all our jobs. And
We can't. The Indians were like, I don't think you can even say Indian anymore. The Native Americans were like, yeah, because they're not Indian. They're not from India. Which is just confusing. Like, I feel like just
I know.
from a non-confusing, we have so many actual Indians in America now that it's too confusing to say Indians anymore. So what port? So you bought gas station sushi. What was my port?
that was my. It wasn't gas station. I'm not that stupid. It was just grocery store, very far inland in the middle of the desert sushi.
You're talking to a man who has bought a lot of gas station sushi in his life, so I can tell you that the results are the same. What poor decision have I made in the last 24 hours? I can't even remember what happened about 45 minutes ago. Yeah, basically the beginning of this conversation is where my memory ends. Let's see here. You know what? All of my decisions have been great.
There you go.
Top notch.
You can't play if you're. If
I
you're
woke
not,
up. That was a bad move.
That's,
I decided to
but it's
cut.
been uphill from there.
You know what? I decided to come on this podcast. That was the
There we
worst
go.
decision I've made. What's one word that sums up my experience with the opposite sex?
Ooh, interesting. Tortilla.
All right. Go, elaborate.
Oh, I didn't. I was looking around and there's a bag of tortilla chips in front of me and it felt
okay.
right, but I don't. I can't defend that.
I would say awkward would be mine because I've always been afraid of girls that I had crushes on, and so I basically fell in love with my wife, and that was it. So I don't ever have to feel awkward ever
Aw.
again. But yeah, anytime
Right.
I like as gregarious and as outgoing, as exciting as I am, as soon as I talk to a girl who I like, I actually completely shut down.
Freeze up. Yeah.
I don't know why. It's the only situation in which that happens. It's actually so bad that my wife isn't allowed to watch my content or go to my shows or anything because she's the only person whose opinion I care about, and it makes me
Aw.
too nervous.
If,
Makes me
if
too
she
nervous.
rejected you, that would be like the ultimate. Like,
Oh yeah, dude. If she'll
saw-
tell me she heard one of my bits one time and she told me it wasn't funny and it really fucked me up. It really
oh no, really?
fucked me up. Yeah.
But I get it. I don't think Megan hasn't read Two Henrys, and I don't think I want her to.
Megan.
I,
Hopefully she bought it.
Oh. I made her buy it. But she'd have to read it.
How many copies have you sold?
I've sold a couple hundred. It's done decently. It's
That's awesome. What are the reviews like?
So far they've been really good. The reviews have all been like universally really good, which is part of the reason I don't trust that either. Like, you know, I want to figure out the angle. Not everybody can like this. There's got to be some like. If it was fucking The Godfather, somebody would say, "Hey, this shit sucks. It'd be terrible."
Maybe it's just good.
I don't accept that. No, sir. Everything that's good has somebody that's. So I'm thinking it's just.
Yeah, but it's not. You haven't
hasn't
sold
been-
enough that
Right,
like you're
that's what
gonna
I'm saying.
get like
If
the
I get-
haters on there.
a large enough audience that's a good cross section of everybody. That's where I'll grab some people that are like, "This is stupid," even if it's just to kind of be a contrarian against the people saying it's good. Like I'm sure that they can't be perfect. There's got to be something wrong with it. I'm waiting for a large enough audience to say that it's to find those flaws and bring them to my attention in as rude a manner as possible, while they're calling me names, calling me woke, calling me some dumb
Attack my manhood.
Right. That's how
You
I
know,
like
do
my that's how I like my criticisms. Make sure to inject criticisms of my children. Include
yeah.
include
Well,
some
I
name
saw
calling.
someone attacked your wife online the other day, right?
Yeah, that's pretty common.
Crazy,
She didn't ask
crazy.
for that. It's kind of terrible, but it's not uncommon,
What'd you
unfortunately.
say? She asked for it?
No, no, she didn't ask for it. If she
Oh,
asked for it, that'd be kind of fucked up.
I never put my wife
I'd
online
be
because she
like,
doesn't like the attention. So,
yeah,
what is something I hate having to pay for?
ooh.
For me, it's
I don't
sex.
think we should. Nice. I don't. Ads on Netflix is pissing me off, and it's not that it's unreasonable for a streaming service to have ads, but
No, it is. It
Netflix
is.
never had ads.
No,
I was fine with
we
Hulu.
gotta fucking put our foot down. These motherfuckers cannot. They cannot. You cannot charge a streaming service and then also advertise to me.
I agree.
Fuck
Because
you.
remember,
Fuck
Hulu
you.
had two options. You could pay for it and it didn't have ads, or you got Hulu free Hulu and it had ads. Now everybody pays and everybody has ads.
No matter
So there's
what
no
tier. It's
right.
fucking bullshit. And I'm tired of pretending like, oh, this is reasonable. Fuck you. In 2022, Netflix got a $22 million tax return. Like they
Right.
paid too much money to. Then
Yeah.
they were like, oh no, you don't have to pay any more taxes here. We're gonna cut you a check. Fuck
Exactly.
you.
It's
Fuck
not
you.
attached to any kind of business model or supply and demand. It's literally they can do as much of it as they want, and there's
And
nothing
it's all
anybody can say.
fucking trash now, anyways, because they fucking
It's
drove
pretty
out all
bad.
of the great directors and all the great
There's a lot
fucking
of bad shit.
filmmakers can no longer make a living doing it. So like, rather than getting fucking Steven Spielberg and shit on there, you know what I mean? Like, I have to buy
Yeah.
Netflix to watch fucking Taxi Driver. You know what I mean? It's fucking
Right.
bullshit. I've already
I'm never
seen
gonna watch
Taxi
Taxi
Driver.
Driver again.
I
I've
want
seen
to
Taxi
see
Driver 100
something.
times.
I want to see something at the level of Taxi Driver, but new.
But you know what you haven't seen? Taxi Driver with commercials.
And actually,
Now
yes,
Netflix
I
can bring
have
that
because
to
I've
you.
seen it on. I saw it on fucking television. I saw the edited version. Did you ever see the fucking? I talk about this all the time. I've talked about this like 47 times on this podcast. But my favorite, my favorite, my favorite TV edit of any movie is still in Scarface when he's like, "Where'd you get this? Where'd you get this scar?" And he's like, "Eating pussy," but instead of saying "eating pussy," he says "eating peaches," and it just makes me laugh every time. And he's like, "How the fuck you get a scar like that eating peaches?" It just makes me laugh every time.
It used to be an art to edit in those movies for
My parents
television.
were very open about allowing me to read any book, watch any TV show, listen to any music. They did draw the line at movies, but instead of drawing a hard line at movies, they would not. They would buy the actual edited for TV versions of the VHS tapes. So like, I was allowed to watch
So you've
Scarface
got
at a very young age,
you've got
but I had to watch
eating
the TV
peaches,
edit.
but it's immortalized. Like
Yeah.
forever, it's
Like,
eating peaches.
I didn't realize that he actually said something different for a long time.
You grew up thinking eating peaches was this like dangerous space activity.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So
brilliant.
that's well, I mean, eating pussy is not dangerous for your face. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it would have been equally as confusing. Like, why was that guy
True.
eating a cat?
It really kind of it accomplishes the role, it does the same thing. It's just kind of ridiculous.
All right, two more questions. What is at the top of my bucket list? What's at the top of your bucket list?
Oh, I'd like to make a great big chunk of money before I could be
Nice.
satisfied if I make a
I
great big
like
chunk of
that.
money. Writing. It can't be with writing though. It can't just
Oh,
be like
okay.
yeah.
I just want to make a shitload of money. I was like, that's a
No, 'cause
fucking, that's an honest
there were
answer.
there were years where I got it close to six figures as a nurse, but it didn't feel the same because I wasn't doing any writing or anything at the time, and I always felt that absence. It was really weird. Like Like on my days off, I always had this feeling where I was like, I should be doing something right now. Like I couldn't allow myself to relax, but now it's like if I have a bunch of writing and I take a day off, I'm able to chill. I was never able to do that before. If that makes any sense. If I'm just
No, it
babbling
does.
like an idiot.
Is that it? You know, as someone who's making a living as a creative, is that like how is that? Like, is it
Just
hard? Like, do you ever?
no, it's just as kind of scary and white knuckle to the bone, like to the line as it was before. But it's not as you're not miserable because you're working some shit job you hate. Like it's just as stressful money wise, but you feel like you're more satisfied doing it. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Yeah,
No, it does. I think for me, it's similar. Where it's like, I mean, it's definitely more stressful money wise.
yeah.
I would say that.
And
Like,
I don't
but
know how much I can attribute that to the creative because it seems like everybody's stressed out money wise these
yeah, but
days,
I
no
just
matter
mean
what
like
you're doing. So
it's more stressful money wise, but it's less stressful as a job. So it just kind of
yeah,
like the stress kind
it
of
balances
balances
out.
out, but I also feel fulfilled instead of just
Exactly.
like, what did I even like? Why I went to work? I wasted 8 hours of my life to do fucking nothing
Exactly. Whenever I
that
was
no
working
one will
before, it
ever
didn't
care
matter how much
about.
money I was making. My life consisted of like watching the clock. Like if I'm at home, I'm watching the clock to see how long it is until I have to go back to that place I don't want to go. And then when
That's
I'm
crazy because you
working,
worked
I'm
with old
watching the
people too,
clock.
so you just were
Yeah.
surrounded by death. Like your job was actually very meaningful, and you still felt like that.
I did. It's terrible, right?
No, that's
Like, and
fine. Whatever. Fuck those old
it sounds
people.
like I'm bitching and complaining. My last job was at a place that did traumatic brain injuries, and there was this one guy who was 22, and he fell 30 feet from a construction site and
Ooh.
landed on his neck, and he survived, but he was comatose, like he's in a vegetative state, and I was still fine bitching like I don't want to be here, I want to go home. Like, dude, you can walk, you're awake, you can talk, and
Did
this
you
dude
complain
was
to
just
him?
absolutely
You were
because
like,
he
dude,
was
you're
the only one who
fucking,
couldn't tell
you
me to
got the
shut up.
life, dog. You're fucking sitting in this bed right now, just fucking not a care in the world.
You
Probably
got some
dreaming
pretty
about
girls scrubbing your bed sore.
getting sucked off by Megan Thee Stallion. Like there is nothing going wrong in your
No,
life right now. I
right.
don't even know who that
Uh,
is. I just think that name is very funny. Like I
Megan
could
Thee
not pick her
Stallion.
out in a lineup. Yeah, I don't know
I
what
don't
she
think I
looks like.
could either. I know she's a rapper, and I know
I
she's
just think it's funny that
controversial.
these Stallion is such a great name to give yourself. I just
It
think it's
really
very
is.
funny.
That is a brilliant name. I don't know why anybody didn't kind
Not
of
as
try
good
that
as the
before.
Lion of the Lord, which if she switched it up and went with
If
she
she came
changed
out
her
as the
name to
Lion of the
Megan,
Lord, I would
Megan,
absolutely support that 100%.
Megan the Lion of the Lord. I think I might maybe take that on. Nick the Lion of the Lord Sands.
That's badass.
All right, we got one more. We got one more coming in.
Okay.
What is something about me that sounds fake but is actually 100% true? So,
Oh
what is
shit.
something about you?
Something about me, not you, Nick Sands.
Yeah, they're for some reason they're written. The more that I fucking play this game, the more I realize this game fucking sucks. So no wonder they didn't want to respond to my fucking emails.
Right? They were ashamed. They didn't want to bring.
Yeah.
They didn't want to pay for it because they know it sucks and they're ashamed of it. Something about me that sounds fake. Um, shit. I wish I could think of like one example that would encapsulate it, but like still to this day, every couple of days, my wife is blown away by some childhood movie that I've never seen. Like if you can name any movie that kids everywhere have seen, I've never seen it. But I can't think. There should be like one example. If there was one brilliant
That
example where it's
sounds
like,
like it's. If you cut off the last part of that sentence, it sounds like that is that is the plot of a movie where like every couple days your wife just blows up, but then she like reconstitutes. You're like, we only get 48 hours together, and then she explodes, and then I gotta watch her fucking build herself back up.
that's a Star Trek episode.
That
That's
is,
awesome.
yeah, no, that would be
That is a
great.
legit
But I
Star
love
Trek
her.
Deep Space Nine episode.
I love her. The medical bills are killing us, though. Um, the reconstitution bills are crazy. Hard to keep a
Maybe just
job when you
because
got to reconstitute every 72 hours.
it sounds fake because it sounds super pretentious. And if it was like, but like somebody says, "Oh, I've never seen The Wizard of Oz," or any
It would
like the
only
literal.
sound pretentious if you were like, oh, the reason I didn't have time to watch movies was because I was reading all these books.
That's not the case though.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
much more pathetic and sad reason. that my grandparents I was raised by my grandparents and they just didn't have a lot of movies or like access to it. But then she'll be like, "Do you remember in The Wizard of Oz?" No, I don't. Do you remember in, I don't know, name some other childhood movie that everybody's seen?
Did you ever
I
see
promise.
the Never-Ending Story?
No,
The Princess Bride?
no.
What the fuck? Really?
Right? No, it's like literally, if you name it, I haven't seen it. If it's something that you
Uh,
wouldn't watch before you're like 25, I wouldn't. I haven't seen it.
Interesting. So you
Yeah,
unfortunately came of age just in time to watch the Marvel movies.
yeah. Which
You
really
came
sucks.
you came of age just in time to get sucked into the Marvel movies. Which
And
actually, go ahead.
it blows my mind that I haven't. That they used to make movies that entertain children that didn't cost $1 billion a piece and require 12 hours of required viewing beforehand as homework, so you understand what the fuck that guy is or why he just flew in. Who the fuck is this motherfucker that just flew in and kicked everybody's ass?
There's no greater loss of legacy, I think, in history, except for maybe Bill Cosby, than the Marvel movies not stopping after Infinity War.
I agree. I agree 100%.
They should have
I
just
really think
stopped. Now,
that
now
was
it's like
the because it was a pop culture. It went beyond movies. Like it was a pop culture phenomenon, and that was the natural endpoint, and it was perfect, and everybody was on board with it because I enjoyed that entire little saga. I watched it. I liked it. I'm not going to lie and say I didn't,
hell yeah.
but that was the perfect place to stop. And now, like, what are the stakes when half of life in the universe disappeared and then came back? And now it's just kind of, they remember that the way we remember COVID. Like, remember when everybody was dead for a while? Yeah, sucks. Like, where do you go from there?
Have you ever
It's
seen
dumb as
that
hell.
question? Have you ever seen that question that's like, what would you do if you lost your family in the Thanos snap and then you got married to someone else and had a new family and then
Right?
they got
Shit's fucked
reversed?
up.
That would suck. That would suck. What would you do?
I don't, you got,
I think I'd
oh,
have to
speaking of
tell.
which, there's this crazy little town right near here where this dude came. Yeah, no,
This must be a
everything was
fucking
about to become
crazy town
crazy.
if
It is a
this
crazy
reminded you
town.
of it.
It did. And you'll hear why in a second. It was like, it's this skiing town in the mountains. It's called Alta. They actually made a Twilight Zone episode about it. This stranger came into town one day and he was like, if you guys pay me $2,500, I will raise all of your dead relatives. And they got together in a town meeting and they discussed it. And they were like, do we have the money? Yeah, we have the money. Yeah, but what happens about like inheritances that have been paid out? What happens of like people that have remarried and stuff? Like, and so they discussed it and then they decided, you know what? This is too complex. We appreciate the offer, but we don't want you to raise the dead. And the con man, I don't want to say con man, the stranger said,
You
all
can say
right,
comment.
pay me $2,500 to not raise the dead. And they're like, oh shit. And they paid him, and he left town without raising the dead.
Fuck,
I
dude,
swear to God, it's
that's
100%
awesome.
fucking true story. And I'm over here
We
not,
were born. I
I'm
was
not,
born in the wrong time. You know, when you could
right?
just go into a whole ass town and dupe
Right.
everybody.
I'm over here not raising the dead for free every day. This motherfucker got paid out.
Now we have that's back when cons were cool. Now it's like the Nigerian prince thing. You know what I mean?
Right?
It's just like scamming old people.
But a Nigerian prince would have cleaned up back then. Like, he would have just,
I've been trying to. Did I tell you my idea of how I've been trying to figure out how to bring like crank calling back?
yeah. I think
Did I tell
we
you
were
how?
talking about, yeah.
Oh, okay, never
It
mind.
was,
Then I'll.
trying to keep scammers on the phone as long as possible.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
that could work as an album, but I'm
I
gonna
think
cut
so
this out
too.
because
I
that
think that's a really
fizzled and
I think that's a
died.
really brilliant idea. I've been giving it some thought about how, if I could contribute and how that would look. But
My
also
buddy,
lately, ever since you brought that up, no scammers have called me, not one. The word
my
is out. I'm
buddy,
scared.
my buddy has like 300 or 400 page Word document of like a text back and forth he did with a scammer for that went
Really?
over the course of months,
Holy shit,
months and months.
that's awesome. That's dedication on the scammer's part too. Like,
But now I'm
most people
getting
would have given
AI
up.
scam calls, so it's like,
Really?
which
You
is
can't scam
bullshit.
AI.
I
That's
shouldn't
terrible.
fucking be getting a. If you have enough money to fucking afford AI to call me,
But
you
why are you
have more
scamming
money
people?
than me. You have more fucking money than me. Why are you calling
There's
me?
not. There's not one industry these
I can't
fuckers don't
afford
try to take over.
ChatGPT Premium, and you're fucking calling me. You have a whole fucking AI phone scam set up. What the fuck?
fun.
Clearly, you're targeting the wrong. Like whatever data you got is fucking wrong.
Right. That's awesome.
Isn't it? Is it? Last thing, since I
Yes,
feel
sir.
like you'll have a take on this, data usage and how data has like sort of become this fucking like sword hanging over everybody's head all the time. Like, what do you think's gonna happen long term with all this fucking data that they're collecting on us?
I think I think there's going to be some. Eventually, there's going to be some kind of whistleblower. I think somebody that gets in
I
and
mean, we have them.
collects
They've already come
collects
forward.
collects a bunch of ways in which this data is being used, and they collect the ways that are really scary and really get to everybody's like they grab everybody's attention, and like there's going to be a big push to kind of make as much of it possible illegal, and like these guys are going to be forced to dump all of it, at least the majority of it. I mean, I know there's been whistleblower stuff.
Forced to dump.
Yeah, right. And they'll show us, look, our empty hard drives. But then
Oh, we dumped it.
But
I mean, have you heard
right.
Congress question anyone in tech? They're like, so I have 57 tabs open on my computer. Is that Facebook or is that the
so
Chinese? Yeah. So what's an IP address? And that sounds Russian to me.
I still see at least one or two fucking Facebook posts today from some 70-year-old dude asking like, how do I leave this group? How do I leave this group?
That's not what I thought you were gonna say. I still see the Facebook posts from a couple of older relatives who do the like Facebook does not have permission to use my photos.
Oh my god, yes. It's like, Grandma, stop it. You bring shame to your family name. This is awful. Like, it really is terrible. I feel for them because they're old and they don't know any better. But nobody. This post does nothing, Grandma. It just embarrasses you. It does not slow them down one bit in collecting all of your shit.
It doesn't embarrass her. It embarrasses me. God damn it, Grandma.
Yeah, that was the polite way of saying you're embarrassing me, and that's what matters. They already know. They already have enough data about you to make an AI replica that they could sell to me after you're dead.
And they probably will.
They did. I saw that shit yesterday too. Like, there's like an app. Yeah, there's an app where you can download. They'll recreate your loved ones through AI, and you can ask them questions, and yeah, and they're making bank. That company is doing quite well, and it's basically like John Edwards with it's that same John Edwards like From Beyond shit. It's just with an angel.
I was just gonna say they gentrified fucking psychics. They've gentrified psychics. I actually had a friend who fucking his daughter died.
Yeah.
And like infant, like died very very young, couple months. I'm gonna end on this story.
Sure.
And he was telling me how he kept paying all this money to a psychic so he could talk to her. And it was just like it was so fucking sad. And I was never sure what to do because like on the one hand, like I was always like, oh, that's great, dude. I hope that she has a nice message and like she's talking to you. But like he's clearly getting scammed. He was hiring her like monthly. He was basically working and living in his van so that he could fucking talk to this psychic who would connect him to his daughter, which is like
that's tough because it's in your nature to want to make fun of somebody like that for falling for such an obvious scam, but you also get it, and it's a really touchy, awful thing to have to go through.
Yeah, I didn't even want to make fun of him. Like, I just wish that I was like in a better. Like, I wish I had known it. I didn't really know him, and he was kind of like a little transient. Like, he was work for us, and then he like was going to other, and then like he would come back every couple of years, and then he would leave again, and. But I just remember being like, I wish I knew you well enough to explain to you that this was a scam and not have you take it personally.
I wish I was smart enough to figure out to know what to say to kind of.
Whoa! I didn't say smart enough. I didn't say smart enough. I said I wish I knew him a little better. I wish I knew him a little better.
I wish I wasn't Nick Sands and I wasn't a fucking dumbass. And I realized how that sounded after the fact. I was talking like, I wish Nick Stewart, was smart enough to know what to say to those people to kind of break the spell and make them realize somebody is exploiting your tragedy for their own benefit.
Yeah, and then on the other side, I'm like,
that,
if that brings you any level of comfort, who am I to shut it off? I guess was my other thought.
Yeah, that's tough all around.
I should have told him I was psychic. And I'd do it for 50%.
Hey, if it's bringing them peace and it gets you paid,
Hey,
Win-win.
since we know each other so well, I'll do it for like $300.
that's a tough subject. It's so tough. I end up with me accidentally calling you stupid. That's tough.
All right, we're gonna call this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Nick, thank you so much for being here. Where can people find you?
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Substack. I'm on Instagram. All at Nicholas Stewart Novelist. It's the handle for all three of them. And on each one's got a link to the Amazon page where my book can be found. Am I anywhere else? No, I think that's it. That's where I'm at.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Please, if you love me, please like, subscribe, do whatever, because wherever you're listening to this, that actually really fucking helps me out a lot, and I would really appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching, and we will talk to you soon. Mwah! Bye.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man.